Oh, she uh, did one video and I made it way too long, but I just want to say this. You know about excuses. You know, we always make excuses for everything that we do, whether if it's a big thing, small thing. You know, it could be a legitimate excuse, or in most cases, it's just about the far from the truth. You know, it's funny how we do on those things. But the question is, how many excuses do you make? And what do you try to justify yourselves on? Okay, Byram and Dothan and his little bunch, his little groups, well, they were just the bee's knees. They were, wow, you know, they were holy. But there was a problem. There was something wasn't right in their hearts. Now, they started in and thinking they was all that, because, hey, they got to work around the temple. The tabernacle, that is. Not the brick road stone temple, but the tent, you know, because they were Levites. You think that saved them? Oh, no, 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 no. Because they started getting hot heads and everything. They started grumbling against Moses and Aaron, and they said, we're holy too. You get the same type of attitude that people get today. And the Bible says those things were written as examples for us, not to be like them who fell out in the wilderness, who died. And why? Because of rebellion. Rebellion, when it comes to God, rebellion is just simple. It's just about the simplest thing, a word you can define as disobeying God's will. Alright, you know, when he says not to do something, he means not to do something. He says don't commit adultery, don't commit adultery. You know? And when he says don't don't serve the Lord like the way the other nations do with their gods, you know, and he was talking about mixing it up. Later, Israel started at one point in time, started mixing things up, mixing a little bit of the world with God and the worship and everything else. They did this. But it doesn't matter. I mean, everyone who makes excuses for themselves, they got to understand, you got to answer for things. And just because you don't like something or don't change it from the truth, I mean, we got to examine ourselves. We got to take a look. Now, Abiram and Dothan, if you read the story there in the Old Testament, there in Numbers, the book of Numbers, what happened? You know, and I'm cutting the story short here a little bit, but he ended up, and everyone to stand back. They was going to see something that they'd never seen before. The ground opened up, swallowed them. Bam, shut back up, buried them. God's going to do that to you, me, and everyone if we don't straighten ourselves up. You know, we got to take a look. Quit making excuses, okay? Don't mix the world into the worship of God and trying to be like the world and trying to think you can be a Christian too. You can't. God said to abhor that which is evil. And people are sitting there in the churches grabbing things of the world and calling them holy or good and harmless. That was what Israel did, and they failed. Anything that has even the appearance, even the Bible says even the appearance of evil, to hate, to stay away from, to flee. So why are you doing it? So what things are those? You figure it out. I mean, you know, that's what I've been trying to point out to people when I mention, like, just for example. I mean, this could be with anything, but I'm giving you an example. Music. But now you're trying to defend a genre. No, I'm not, because I don't care about defending no genre. It doesn't matter. If it's evil, it's evil. No matter what it is. The form and appearance. That's what I'm talking about. It could be your mode of dress, the way you comb your hair, the way you blink an eye. I don't care if it is the form of evil. That's what I'm talking about. if you think, look at that and then say, okay, let's look at what happened in the children of Israel with them, what they did. The appearances of evil, and how they also mixed the world and then what others did and mixed it into their worship. No, you cannot do it. And this is not about me, it's about what the Bible says, not me. My view, it means diddly squat. So, there. I hope that you stop and think about, holiness, viewing what God says, justice and righteousness, and to mix things up, because we got to separate ourselves from the world and make a decision and quit making excuses. Okay? Alright, so God bless you. Think about it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not picking on somebody particularly just to get your gruff up. I'm just asking you to challenge you into thinking about what those things are. Start examining yourself, testing yourself, to see if the spirit you have is of God or not. And if it's not, then get rid of what's not and get the Spirit of God, okay? That's all I'm doing, is getting about self-examination and quit making excuses and talking about testings and, examining, okay? Think about it. Shalom. And, oh.